Let's take a quick look at business headlines. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday approved its second straight interest rate cut. Through Chair Jerome Powell rattled markets when he threw doubt on whether another reduction is coming in December. Also, in other news, NVIDIA made history on Wednesday as the first company to reach $5 trillion in market value, powered by a rally that has cemented its place at the center of the global artificial intelligence boom. In Riyadh, at the Future Investment Initiative, entrepreneur Tony Elumelu says artificial intelligence is the way to go, but adoption in Africa is low and needs investment to boost it.
AI is like a constant. It's like commoditized in some markets. But there are some markets like the African market. This is starting, but the rate of adoption is not great. And even the infrastructure to make AI work on the continent is lacking. And so as I sit here and listen to everyone here, I'm asking myself, what catalytic thing, one thing that we can all here do to help improve the AI penetration on the African continent? Because AI is the way to go. It's all about productivity, efficiency. It's about people, their careers, etc. It's about growing, achieving common good, and in fact, prosperity for everyone. AI is key. It's key, the way to go. So I think in our credit rooms, in our boardrooms, as we make decisions about funding, capital allocation in particular, about asset investments, we should please encourage and support the infrastructure, AI infrastructure development in Africa.
Staying in Riyadh, the chairman of the Shoreline Group, Kola Karim, said Nigeria should be targeting 5 million barrels per day of oil production rather than 3 by 2030. He spoke with Ori's business correspondent, Rotus, Oddiri.
PIA has brought everyone to work together because, look, at the end of the day, 90% of our foreign exchange earnings from oil and gas.
That's right, yeah.
So it doesn't matter how you look at it. If the oil and gas industry catches a cold, Nigerian economy will catch a cold.
Right.
So we never forget that that is what this government has done. Take the bull by the horn, focus on that sector, make sure they're delivering, and the president setting the 3 million. Now you see all the drilling rigs coming in. We will achieve and surpass that. The problem we're seeing is, yes, there's a dislocation, the Russia-Ukraine crisis. The US president, what did he say? Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So why is Nigeria not drill, baby, drill? So the focus shouldn't, for me, the focus shouldn't be 3 million. The focus target by 2030 should be 5 million barrels.
Gotcha.
Because America's at 12.5 million barrels now, and they want to go to 15. Saudi Arabia is 11.5. They want to increase. Think about it. 10 years ago, UAE was producing the same as Nigeria, 2.5 million barrels. Today, they are 4.2. So we should not take this for granted. We need to continue to invest to drive this up.
Ori's business correspondent, Rotus Oddiri, now joins us from Riyadh alongside Vimbai, Mutinhiri-Ekpeyong and Georgina, Ndukwe-Ezeanyika. Good morning to the trio and great to see you on the morning show. Oh, Rotus, I was looking forward to this outfit. You showed us you wore this last year, so you haven't worn it this year yet. So great to see you now wear it today.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
All right, excellent. I'm looking forward to the two women in their traditional attire too. But let's go straight in, Rotus. What was Tony Elumelu getting at when he spoke about the need to invest to boost AI in Africa?
Yeah, it's electricity, right? And it's pretty convenient that it ties into something Tony Elumelu has been banging on about since last year. We spoke with Tony Elumelu at FII 8 here in Riyadh, and over again he kept talking about electricity. After the election, who was the first person that President Tinubu visited? It was Tony Elumelu. We got that exclusive when he visited him at his residence. Electricity requirements for AI are really high. We talked about that deal between OpenAI AI, or rather, in OpenAI and AMD, that's Advanced Micro Devices, to build a data center is about 6 gigawatts. That is more than Nigeria's entire output. So it falls in line with Tony Elumelu's mandates. We need electricity, and in order to develop it on the African continent, that's where AI needs to go. And yeah, I thought it was pretty pertinent that he made that point on his panel here.
Right. So what messages do you feel have shaped the conversation this year at this Future Investment Summit? You know, I mean, Vimbai, I want you to have a stab on this. You got a chance to talk to a couple of people. What has been the common refrain and the common theme spread around?
You know, it ties in exactly with what Rotus just said. Excuse my manners, sorry. Good morning, Rufai, Dr. Abati, Ayo. I hope you're all well today. But everything ties in, which is that for globalization to be successful, nations are going to have to look after themselves first. So I'll break it down into a number of messages from different people. Donald Trump Jr. spoke about patriotic capital and how it's absolutely unheard of that a nation would be successful without putting itself first. So before nations can push themselves into the global agenda, they need to ensure their houses are in order. Now, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had a different take when he spoke on his panel because he still feels that the narrative that the American hegemony is coming to an end is a fallacy. In fact, he called it propaganda being driven by the Chinese Communist Party, and he said they're pushing it through TikTok and that China will collapse in the next 10 years. That's according to Mike Pompeo. Then we move on to the Pakistani Prime Minister, that's Shehbaz Sharif, who spoke about climate change and the fact that Pakistan's emissions are less than 1%, yet they're having to borrow money to repair after huge floods, after all of these climate disasters. Now, on the African scene, well, we got to speak to Dr. Owen Omogiafo, who's the president and CEO of the Transport Group. And of course, she was talking about the fact that, yes, let the world talk about transitioning, but in Africa, it's not about transitioning, it's about accessibility. Let people have electricity first before we talk about renewable energy. And she said solar is even more expensive for us in Nigeria because everything is imported. So let's focus on our natural gas reserves to power ourselves up. And last but certainly not least, Minister of State responsible of industry, that's Minister Owaneno, spoke about Nigeria developing their industrial policy. He said that they were unable to get meetings with key institutional investors because we don't have an industrial policy. Well, the good news is that he says the draft is now sitting with FEC, waiting for approval, and his hope is that with an industrial policy in place, certain doors, just to even have meetings, will be opened, and that hopefully now some FDI can start coming into Nigeria as opposed to just portfolio investment. So the key message, nations have to get their houses in order so that globalization as a global agenda can actually be successful.
And Vimbai met Donald Trump Jr. yesterday.
I did. He said he likes a vacation in Zimbabwe. We had a very good chat, and you know what? I'm even more of a fan.
Maga.
Crucify me if you like, but that's my guy.
You got a selfie.
Vimbai Maga. So it's confirmed now that you're a Maga, so that when I call you, wait
me,
now.
I'll make Africa great again. Maga, make Africa great again.
Vimbai. So that when I call you Maga on air, Trumpian on air, you will not be saying, no, I'm neutral. I'm a journalist, I'm neutral. No, you are Maga. You are Maga. Dr.
Rufai, I won't lie, I was so starstruck. I felt like I just met Beyonce. It was amazing for me.
Oh my God.
My question is for Georgina. But before I come to you, Georgina, Rotus, well, this is a perfect case of when you are in Rome, look like the Romans. You are in Saudi Arabia, and you look like an Arab. Really nice, you know. That's very good.
When we wrote
but as for artificial intelligence and what Mr. Tony Elumelu was saying, yeah, he was talking basically also about infrastructure and capital, because without capital, you cannot drive, you know, artificial intelligence. And then NVIDIA, 5 trillion, you know, market value, 5.6 shares percent, you know, rise. Is it a bubble? Or is AI really real in terms of how NVIDIA is just making money? But let me come to Georgina. What will you say are the big takeaways for you, you know, attending this conference in Riyadh?
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone in the studio, Dr. Abati, Ayo, and Rufai. Well, it's been a very interesting conversation going on here in the conference across technology, across human development and collaboration. Most importantly, collaboration. I've heard them say governments and the private sector need to come together to work as true partners to ensure that true prosperity or inclusive prosperity is achieved. So that's one of the important things I learned, or the takeaway for me at this conference. And the fact that Africa is fully represented here, like Vimbai and Rotus has mentioned, the likes of Aliko Dangote present, the Minister of Industry here, also the President and CEO of Transcorp, also here, Owen Omogia, for really representing Africa and saying that Africa is actually open for business, like we are ready for investments to come in. And so it's very important that we continue to show ourselves on the international scene as a country that is now becoming a hub for investment.
Okay. Thank you very much, Georgina. Thank you, Arab Rotus.
Rotus, when are you going to wear George? When are you going?
You're wondering why we aren't covering our heads. But the message in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia is that they're open for business, that they're ready to accommodate all of us with our different cultures, and we can look however we want to look as long as it's modest and decent. So women are even driving the golf carts here. You know, so they're looking to liberalize and open up. So they've allowed us to let our hair free and to wear our trousers, and it's a wonderful thing to experience.
It's an international community.
And may I add that Rotus has been receiving compliments all morning.
Okay. Rotus, when are you going to tie wrapper and wear George and wear your local traditional Delta attire?
Well, you will. Maybe when he's getting married.
That's a great point.
Which we look forward to.
Okay, very good. That's it.
Thank you.